part fish? Could it be part of the reason I don't fit in? It would explain the drinking. I do like to swim. How much evolution stands between me and the kind of person who comes to the sea for the answers? They simply ask and get cured of their cancer, if you believe it. They're one pair of footprints here in the sand. They're own making, I'm certain of that, but the tide is determined to come and hold on to my hand. How does the ocean expect me to feel when it takes out the castle I'm trying to build? I know it was small, but I gave it all that I had. But 8,000 square feet of waterfront property ain't gonna fill up the holes that I got in me. Maybe there is a God, and all of my losses are part of a plan to teach me to want what I have, what I already have. The daily invasion is 11:30. There'll be more blankets and chairs and umbrellas than Shoreline this time of year, but I always swore I'd bring my own kids here. 7:15, lovers are making up time with each other, and the time to take in the sunset. I don't know how, I think I can outrun it before it goes down. They're one pair of footprints here in the sand. They're of my own making, I'm certain of that, but the tide is determined to come and hold on to my hand. But how does the ocean expect me to feel when it takes out the castle I'm trying to build? I know it was small, but I gave it all that I had. But how many passengers on the Titanic wish they'd have been traveling on something more average? Maybe there is a God, and all of my losses are part of a plan to teach me to be where I am, where I already am. If every grain of sand became a pearl, there wouldn't be a beach left on the earth. Maybe there is a God somewhere, and all my losses are part of a plan to teach me to love what I am, what I already am. Why do I always hate leaving the water?
That's Caitlin Cannon, everybody.
you.
That's Nashville poetry right there.
Lee Coulter just bringing the vibes.
And of course, let's welcome this Sunday, Reverend Angela Geary. Yes. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
I suppose it's my turn to say something. No. So, welcome. Beautiful, soothing voice you have there,
Thank you.
Ms. Cannon. That's awesome. And then we have Angela Geary, Lee, of course. Beautiful percussion, and everyone here. And so we welcome everyone to the Hilltop Spiritual Center, those who are watching us now, and you all here gathered in this beautiful community. Today's inspiration is this presence of life that is everywhere, right? And so we get to celebrate that. And so today it'll be a little different. We won't be asking the regular questions that we normally have, because it's a little different. So I guess I should just pray, right? Because as they say, the answer is in the prayer, right? And so my name is Paul Calabro, and I am happy to be here as your guide and spiritual practitioner. And so let us just simply just acknowledge this beautiful setting that we're all in, and in a moment of deep prayer and introspection. If you like, please feel free to close your eyes, and if not, just really center in this moment. For this moment is truly a divine blessing. And so we recognize that presence of love that goes with us everywhere. For we are made of that expression of love. For love and our expression of love are one. And that oneness is the presence of the divine here now. It is God. It is everywhere present. It is the very expression of that beautiful, soothing voice by which we have just experienced. And it is here in this moment, in this prayer, for it is said that the answer is in the prayer. And so I know that this presence moves through each and every one of us, this presence of life. For it is here now, knowing the truth, that all that transpires today is simply blessed. That the words spoken, they simply bring forth this newness, this one simple idea that truly beyond the beyond, we are love. We come from love. And so in that blessing, I simply release this prayer to that one mind of God, knowing that it leads and it guides and it says yes. It is that very action that flows and brings forth all the good that we call forth. And so with that, I simply let it be so. And so it is.
So it is.
And so the reading today I thought was really interesting, because Guy actually brings it up every so often. And he basically talks about it, but through the lens of Harley Davidson. And if you know Guy that well, you probably already know what I'm going to say. If not, I'm going to say it anyways. And what I thought was cool is that this actual saying comes from one of the founders of our tradition, which is Ralph Waldo Emerson. And I think it's awesome that he actually says it a lot. And Harley Davidson uses it as well. So the reading goes, it's not the destination, it's the journey. Ralph Waldo Emerson. And Harley Davidson too. So on that note, let us simply go within with that, and we'll meditate for a few minutes. And I'll see you on the other side. with love and light, and so it is.
If I seem a little off and far away, it's just because I put all my fighting hanging on, but it was not enough. It's out of my hands, I know. It's gonna break every bone, but here I am in midair. I'm falling as fast as the rain. Out here where all I have is a prayer, and the gravity promises pain. Tell them to say I had a heart attack, bracing myself for the impact. Life is passing in a flash. I don't hear the ambulance. When I think on the plans I had, all I can hear angels laughing. Now I know what it's like to put my feet down and find not on the ground, they're hung out in the sky. Here I am in midair, I'm falling as fast as the rain. Out here where all I have is a prayer, and a gravity promises pain. Tell them to say I had a heart attack, bracing myself for the impact. Oh, I'd rather shatter into bits than hold my breath waiting for it. But here I am in midair, falling as fast as the rain. Out here where all I have is a prayer, and the gravity promises pain. It's all gonna change. I don't know how long I'll last, bracing myself for the impact.
Caitlin Cannon, everybody. Now let's welcome out Reverend Angela Geary.
Let's take a breath, bracing ourselves for the impact. We might be doing that, right? So good to be here. Gaze upon you all. Here we are. Here we are. every Sunday. This is a ritual. We gather. The world goes on. The world can be scary, frightening, collectively, personally. We're going through a lot. And here we are in sacred community, in beloved community, in a place where we're nourished and nurtured by beautiful song, by beautiful practitioner, by beautiful congregants, by words of spirit that I'm trusting come through me today. And here we are in Sangha, having food lovingly made by some of the congregants, right? And breaking bread together. And this is where we gain sustenance for our journey. This is where we stand strong in what we believe in our principles. And I think the question is, I heard Reverend Guy talk last week about, Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. I have a dream. And I was thinking about the global heart vision that, when was that? Decades ago, I want to say. I'm looking at Andrea like she's the knower of it all. Well, she is, but, sorry. Decades ago, the global heart vision that came from, Centers for Spiritual Living, creating a world that works for everyone. So sometimes in having a dream and sometimes in having a vision, anything unlike it comes up. Because that too is part of the dream. And that too is part of the vision. And so how do we love bravely? How do we stand in trust and faith and keep the dream alive and the vision alive? When maybe, perhaps, everything in this world of form is looking totally unlike the vision and the dream. We keep it alive because we know and trust that it's all part of the divine unfoldment, that there are no mistakes in spirit, that the obstacle is the way. And, Emerson says, we forget that our opinion of the world is also a confession of our character. Our opinion of the world is also a confession of our character. So how can we be part of the solution and not part of the problem? This is the question, right? This is it. And we are part of the solution when we come together in sacred song, in sacred ceremony, when we pray, when we trust, when we serve one another, when we stand strong, standing strong in our convictions and our truth. And I think more than ever, our calling right now, as I said, is to know that this that we are experiencing, it's all part of the dance. It's all part of the journey. The obstacle is the way. The obstacle is the way. And so it's not even just about, let's get through this to something higher. I mean, yes, let's. It's like, this is it. Andrew Harvey and Carolyn Baker have written a new book called Radical Regeneration. And in it, he says, that we can see this as a crisis or a catastrophe, which comes from the Greek word to turn around, or we can see it as an assignment. This is our assignment. This is our assignment right now. And so how do we buckle up for the assignment? How do we trust? Marcus Aurelius says, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Let's take a breath or two. So the problems and the challenges become the solution. And we don't have a solution right now in the collective, the bigger. what I sense is, because we're not there in consciousness yet, it's not there for us. Alchemically, we are being shifted and changed right now. There's an alchemical shifting in the atmosphere, in the field right now. And how we are going to be led and guided and have the insight that we need to pull through and up and high is through sitting in the problem, sitting with the obstacle. From that springs forth the solution, the resolution. So we breathe into that. You know, it almost, Andrew Harvey says, it's so devastating right now, it almost has to be spirit, infinite intelligence, God, whatever you call it, saying, wake up, or look at what's real here, to get our attention. Carolyn Baker says it's like, it has to be the earth speaking to us. It has to be. To get back to what the indigenous people know, to love the earth, to walk with the earth, to be taught by the earth. And she said a really sad thing that, well, made me feel sad. She said, you know, we're walking, or we're living, we're in a relationship with an earth that is in hospice. Yeah. How do we walk with an earth that's in hospice? How do we walk with a way of being within all of us? I think this separation, this, you know, hard-edgedness, this everything that we see and that lives in each and every one of us as our shadow. How do we walk with that? Be in relationship to that, because that's in hospice too. It's on its way out. Because we are being called to rear up into the light like never before. When we can no longer change the exterior, the challenge becomes to change ourselves. Viktor Frankl. How do we draw on the power of beauty and passion and wisdom that lies within us and that lies in all the ancient teachings and spiritualities and traditions? The answers are there. How can we tap into that? It's in us. Books have been written about this. You know, people going through each and every one of us has probably been through things that we look back and think, how did I do that? Or we were faced with it and thought, how am I going to? And we did, and we are. Because at our core, we are powerful, we are beautiful, we are strong. And we're called to be strong right now. And we're called to be fiery with our love. You know, it's interesting, I just had a quick chat with Paul before service, and talk was already written, and I like to check in astrologically every now and then, and I haven't in a while, and he informed me that today Aries is going into Saturn. Saturn's going into Aries. See how much I know. Saturn is going into Aries. Fire. And they're opposite energies. That's what we're called to. The Saturn is tell me what Saturn is, Paul. Lessons and rules and slowing down and kind of an orderly, with the fieriness of the Aries. This is this, somewhere in the middle. As the Buddhists say, the middle way, right? This is what the calling is, again and again, back to the middle way. Both and, not either or. Fiery and strong with our love and our passion and what we stand for. And orderly and centered and maybe not moving quite so fast as fire likes to move, slowing down, strong back, soft front. That's the calling. And so I think, how do we live bravely? How do we find hope in these chaotic times? It's coming back to our oneness. The oneness of our bodies, our mind, our spirit. The oneness we share with the earth and the animal kingdom. The oneness in our communities and with one another. And we can look back, as I said, and glean wisdom and insight and a map of how to do it through ancient traditions. And one of them I want to talk about today is seek, that the wisdom of the seek wisdom. And the Sikh tradition was formed in the 15th century in Punjab, which is between Afghanistan and Pakistan and India. And during that time, it was like rife with war. Caste war, gender war, religious war, cruelty prevailed. And Muslims and Hindus were at war with each other. And in this little town of Punjab, which means 5 rivers, or 5 rivers that flowed from the Himalayas down into this region called Punjab, Muslims and Hindus got together to pray, to sing songs of sacred poetry, to be together. And in the 16th century, this guy called Nanak had a revelation of oneness. He had a dream or an experience, and it is said that he walked in the 4 cardinal directions, singing songs of love, singing songs of oneness. And in the 16th century, the Sikh tradition was formed. And the words to one of the songs is, "We can all taste the truth of oneness. And when we do, we are inspired to care for one another and fight for one another." That's what it was based on, this Sikh tradition. And it is said that, he distilled the heart of all the world's wisdom traditions into its essence, love. The Sikh tradition, the Sikh spirituality is about love, no separation. All are welcome here. And so in the midst of a culture and a society where it was looked down upon for different castes to pray together, for Hindus and Muslims to come together, they stood up and did something different. And they were fiery in their passion, because in the 17th century, the Mughal Empire got word of how this tradition was spreading, and they felt threatened by it. And so they sent their soldiers. And the Sikh tradition actually rose up and took up swords and resisted or being annihilated. And they're still here today. And so their archetype became what they called the Sant Sipahi, the sage warrior. The sage loves, the warrior fights, and it's become their archetype. Now, maybe we don't literally take up the sword, but when I think of the sword, I think of the goddess Kali or Durga that carry the sword, that those are fierce energies. Those are fiery energies of a goddess that's needed right now. To take up the sword, and they use their sword to cut the veils of illusion, to cut away, and they had no qualms about telling someone they needed to leave or chopping off a hand, whatever it would be. That's that energy. Sikhs carried this. So this grand idea, again, what I feel is happening and continues to happen is this merging, this middle way of the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming together. This grand idea from the mind of God came through Guru Nanak, and the Sikh tradition with its practices and its songs and its philosophy were being taught and practiced. And all of a sudden, Divine Mother comes in. And I think it was Guru Nanak's wife or one of the wives called Mata Deva Kiva decided that she wanted that idea of oneness to meet something that was true inside people so that they could get it from their own, on their own. What she knew is higher, she said, higher than truth is living the truth. It had to be embodied. It had to be practiced. It has to be. That's what the mother energy does. The male energy has the idea, talk about this in Science of Mind, the masculine and the feminine, has the idea, is in the intellect, teaches, creates perhaps, you know, the original Sikh tradition, but it had to be something deeper. And so she created what is called a Langar, Langar hall. And what it was a place where she decided that it was that people had to feel it in their bodies and had to feel nourished. So her way was through food. And so she created the Langar Hall, which was a space where, again, Muslims, Hindus, the untouchables, all the different caste systems, anyone and everyone was welcome to come and be in the Langar Hall and eat together and be nourished together. So it was a felt experience of that. It was a transmission of energy of that. And really what she did is she took the way she mothered her own children out into the world. She became a mothering presence to all. And I love that idea. Because within each of us, whether we're male or female, is the mothering energy. Aren't we needing a little mothering right now? Don't we see so many people needing a little mothering right now, that energy of pure love? Where am I? Something I wanted to read about the Langar Hall. Okay. So Valerie Kaur in this book that I'm getting this information from says, it's not enough to believe in the idea of oneness. One must love with one's whole body in a way of moving in the world. Every moment of life becomes an opportunity to practice, to make love greater than our reflex to freeze, so that we would leap into the mud without hesitation to help one another. One of the things the Sikhs say is you sing your song and then you take that song out into the world through loving service, through serving another. I love that idea of creating Langar. That's what we're here, Langar. But we can also, because it always has to start with us individually. This is our work, to create a Langar within our own being. A welcoming space within our own hearts and minds and souls, where all parts of us are welcome, where all opinions are welcome, where all aspects and everything is welcome, where we use that mothering energy to welcome them all home. This is part of the alchemy that's happening. And it's interesting, you know, in alchemy, the lead into gold is done in this cauldron, right? And it's like Jung used this idea of alchemy for our soul's journey. And our cauldron is our own inner being. The cauldron where the alchemy is happening, where the fear and the anxiety and the doubt and the separation and whatever else is standing in the way is being turned into gold. And it's happening. Right now, even as I'm speaking these words, we are being alchemized. We are. So we create that. And we find that element of fire within ourselves. We're talking about fire. And what we know about fire is if it's too much, it's overwhelming. And we're, so too much fire in us. We all know our beloved Aries. And I'm on the cusp, so I have some of that. Too much sometimes. Not enough fire, though. We're languid. We're a little apathetic. We're not really. We find that middle ground again, the fire within us that's being alchemized right now, so that we can rise up and be sage warriors like we're born to be. Let's take a breath. I wanted to read what Valerie Kaur says about. This is her book, Sage Warrior, that I'm using right now, by the way, Valerie Kaur. It's a wonderful, beautiful book. Bear with me. Okay. Langar is a transmission of energy. It is the energy of the earth, where the wheat grows and the sun and the rain that nourished it. It is the energy of the hands that picked it and those who transported and bought it. It is the energy of the ones who cooked it, reciting the songs of love. There is perhaps nothing more immediate than taking food into your body mindfully that reminds you of how you are connected to everything. The biology around you passes through you. You are porous. Separation is an illusion. You are part of one great body. So by the way, that tradition of the Langar Hall still goes on in America, in every Sikh hall, if they're called, I forgot the name of them. You can go in and get free food. And there's the Golden Temple in Amritsar in India that is this huge temple that serves thousands of people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Check it out on YouTube. It's just a beautiful, amazing thing that started from someone's idea of oneness, that started from someone's idea of let's create a nourishing place for people to be and feel these teachings deep in their body. So oneness means that all parts of the world are beloved, and each and every one being is beloved. And so are all parts of ourself beloved. No bad parts of us. Only parts that contain the promise of healing, insight, and transformation. As I said, making a langar inside our bodies right now. How can we do that? We start with ourselves. I'm going to finish up here once I'm done shuffling with my papers. All right. This is from Valerie Kaur. The world we have known is ending. A new world is waiting to be born. What is needed now is for survivors of trauma and witnesses to crisis to see ourselves not as victims, but as pioneers of a new way of being human. We can become Sant Sipa, sage warriors. The warrior fights, the sage loves. It is a path of revolutionary love. That's our calling. And so we create conditions for beloved community. We come together, we care together, we laugh together, we cry together, we grieve together. Sometimes we vent together. We celebrate spirit and the beauty of nature together. And what Valerie Kaur says is what we're really being called to is we have to create spaces that have perhaps been never created before. So what's the vision that's coming through for each of us? How can each one of us step out of the box of what's always been done and how it's always been? And take, some, what's the word? Insight from the Sikh tradition, just born out of ordinary people that didn't like the separation and the prejudice and the racism and all that was going on, and that just started with a simple concept of Muslims and Hindus and all castes coming together to pray. And from there, the Sikh tradition is alive in the world. And some of the most beautiful music, those of you who know Snatcham Kaur, she's a Sikh. I'm sure there are many others I'm leaving out, but she's one of my favorites. And you feel that music in your heart. You feel it in your soul. There's a beauty there. There's a deep love. It's based on love and oneness. And Andrew Harvey says we have to develop birth eyes. We have to focus on all the newness, all the light, all the beauty, all the beautiful and wonderful and miraculous things and souls that are coming up and coming through us, and we're seeing out in the world right now, the lights that are being planted, the younger generation. The leaders, the younger leaders that aren't going to be led by the old way and aren't going to be intimidated by the old way, that have the courage to stand up for truth, no matter what, and to do it from a place of reverence and to do it from a place of love. So it's so easy, isn't it? Maybe I'm just speaking for me, to focus on all that isn't right now, all that's troubling, all that's a bit depressing, quite frankly, all the what do we do with the churning in the belly and the heavy heart? We acknowledge it, we recognize it, and we put our birth eyes on. We see through our birth eyes the light and the love and the joy that is springing forth all at the same time. And we create languor within our own beings. We create languor in our own relationships, in our families, in our communities. And we create a kind of languor for the whole world that is suffering right now. We're Divine Mother rising up, rising strong. Sacred activism, revolutionary love. Call it love in action. Love in action. These are not new ideas. They are not new ideas. But the calling now is for them to be embodied. The calling is to embody it, to feel it, and to step out. And for each of us to listen to what our particular call is. And there's no act too small. No act too small. Anything. We can be that divine essence and presence in any moment of any day. So let us pray. And breathe into that. And maybe feel that languor, that place of all is welcome here. Feel it in the room, maybe. All are welcome here at Hilltop Spiritual Community. Doesn't matter whoever you are and wherever you are on your journey. Whatever particular tradition, religion, spirituality you follow, if you don't, if you're steeped in science of mind, it doesn't matter. We've all come from different backgrounds and yet here we are in this safe, nurturing, nourishing place. Feel it. So good to be here. It's home. And breathe in and imagine what it would feel like to just create that sense of langar inside. Inside. Just with intention. I'm creating a mothering space for all the internal family, my own internal family members. All the parts. The angry part, the disillusioned part. Whatever parts that we have judgment, all are welcome here. And Valerie takes up this practice of saying, when we see something in the world that affects us or moves us, or we see behavior we don't like, or parts of ourselves we don't like, you are a part of me I don't yet know. So invite into your langar hall any parts of yourself that you may not yet know. Just even with that intention, you're welcome here. And then if you would, it's up to you, bring to mind somebody that this would be a hard thing to say to them. You are a part of me I don't yet know. You are a part of me I don't yet know. Only one. Only one. One love, one life, one power, one presence, one beauty, one truth, one goodness. Over, above, and beyond it all. We trust in that. We stand in that. We know there's no power greater. We know there's no love deeper. And we know that that love and that power moves through us and through all sentient beings. And it is the greatest truth. So we are not fooled by the world of appearances, even these appearances, even these conditions and circumstances. No. We recognize it is the way right now. The obstacle is the way. What's in the way is the way. We recognize that this is our divine assignment. To be embodied with these principles of oneness. To practice them within our own beings, within our own relationships, within our own communities, so that we can be that in the world. All is unfolding in divine right order. There are no mistakes in this infinite intelligence that keeps the planets spinning and the stars sparkling and the sun rising and the sun setting. The forest fires come. The floods, the hurricanes, all of it, they come. And they're scary and devastating when they come. And how can we seize this opportunity to transform, to rise up, and let that alchemical process that's happening within our being happen in the midst of it all. How grateful I am that we see with birth eyes. As much as we perhaps notice what's not right or not the way we would like it to be, we see with that high consciousness birth eyes of the birthing of the new consciousness, homo luminous, beings of light. Seeing it, recognizing it, gravitating towards it. I'm grateful that we find our own fire within our being, that we find that fire within us and find the middle way with that fire. And I'm grateful for sacred, beloved, nourishing community Where two or more are gathered in the name of love, miracles happen. And I give thanks that we hold tight to miracles. The crucifixion ended in the resurrection. Slavery ended in freedom. So we rise remembering this. Freedom, unity is our divine and inherent birthright. Thank you, Spirit. I release my word to the very soul of the universe, letting it rest and letting it be. And please affirm with me by saying, and so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Angela. That was so beautiful. I just feel grateful for your nourishing, nurturing wisdom, intuition. Thank you. So, thank you to Caitlin as well. She's on tour out from Nashville. Was in LA last night. Made the drive down this morning. Drove from Huntington this morning. So, can you tune and answer a question at the same time? Is that possible? Because I'm hearing, you know, especially in that first song, these deep lessons about the stuff that we're thinking about all the time. You know, and the world is kind of forcing us artists into this perspective, philosophizing. Are there any lessons of late that are kind of coming through that you could share today? That, yeah. Steve, sorry, Steve, the mic. I don't think so. It should be.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, I was just thinking how good it would be for me to come here every Sunday because I had so many, when I was listening, songs, ideas for songs, just like so many songs wanting to be written, you know, and we do this, we stream this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just have to start coming every Sunday. And I think that I am, you know, a lot of what you were saying about the calling and the change, the death of something and the rebirth of something new pertains to my the alchemy of the songwriting practice that I have, which has always been the alchemy of trauma for me. And it's such a, it's so exciting to feel that I'm being born into a new place of using my gift. I'll say it's a gift, I think.
Feels like
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I can claim that now, I think, but to use it for the collective, the more of the collective we and less of the I, which is how it's been mostly up until now, but I've just been wanting to write more for the we. So we'll see what comes out next time I get to come. That said, this song's called My Own Company. Of my few real relationships, ours is by far most complex. I know what you're thinking sometimes. I know what you'll say next. But I don't understand why you do what you do. It ain't for lack of my trying to. And someone who wants to be loved won't let anyone. But I'm in it for life, whatever that looks like. Won't you forgive me? I can't keep living in this dim light. No, I didn't turn out to be the girl of your dreams, but lately it's hard to keep my own company. I look in the mirror and tell you things you don't believe. As if the mantras could drown these insecurities. Too late for babies and 401ks. Too young to be in so much damn pain. But I'm in it for life, whatever that looks like. But I can't forgive me, I'm too damn busy most of the time. No, I didn't turn out to be the girl of my dreams, and it's getting harder to keep my own company. I could start drinking again, go on a bender, throw myself into the Cumberland. But I'm in it for life, whatever that looks like. I gotta forgive me, I got it in me somewhere inside. I could turn out to be the girl of my dreams and find that all I'd wanna keep is my own company. Of my few real relationships, ours is by far most complex. Thank you. This is so cool.
Yeah, wow, thank you so much. Let's give him another round of applause. How beautiful. Your voice is amazing. Wow. You know, and I was thinking about, you know, how you like our services and stuff and you want to follow us, but I want to follow you now.
Oh, please do.
Yes.
A reminder, we do have merch that we didn't have time to
Yes.
put out before, but as soon as the service is over, we're going to put merch out. We get all of
Yeah,
Caitlin's
such a-
latest stuff. So.
And I checked, and you are on Spotify, right?
I am.
Here
My
she
new
is.
record came out last Friday.
So for all the Spotify people, she can find her. So I will be listening to you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. And so here we are at our time of conscious giving. And it's just such a beautiful experience here that we get to gather here every Sunday. You know, it's like, for me, it's like, this place is like seeing a spiritual chiropractor. Every time I come in here, I'm just aligned, and then I get to go into my week feeling so good. And just the power of this place. And also, the great power of a spiritual practice of giving. And so if you are giving today, whether it's online, you can actually scan this QR code and give through Venmo. And you can also give here today, or if you like, you can even give with a prayer. And so if you're giving today, please feel free to place your gift at your heart and know with me that these gifts go forth as a nurturing, as a love from our presence to fill and to bless this beautiful community with the deep love enriched by our own work and our own love that we put in every day of our experience. I know that these gifts are a blessing. I call it forth into being, and so it is.
So it is. Is it time for the? Okay. Oh, good. Oh, should we noodle?
And so real quick, we have an event coming up. It's on Friday,
Yes.
May 30th.
Yeah, right. This Friday coming up, Jim Jones and myself are going to rock Party Burger. I think I've always wanted to say that. We'll play just the duo that you see up here, but I'll be dancing. I'll be standing up more so than my usual self over here. But yeah, so Friday night, this Friday at Party Burger. At what time is it? It's 6 to 8 p.m. Me and Jim Jones. So please come on down if you can make it. It's the first Volbrook gig I've done besides this one in maybe like 10 years. So
That's awesome.
so, yeah.
Yeah, and then today there's a spiritual book study. We were continuing the study of the untethered soul with the next book, Living Untethered. And so it's today right after service. And then we have the spiritual practice class with Reverend Dr. Guy Williams on Wednesday, June 4th. It starts. It's a 6-week class. It's on Zoom. And then we have mantras with Magdalena on the 28th. So that's this Wednesday. It's at 6 o'clock to 7:30. And it's a spiritual practice of mantra. And I believe that's it. So, oh yes, and then if you have kids, please bring them this summer, because we are having this. We're starting this youth program, and we have wonderful activities for your kids if you want to just enjoy their presence here at Hilltop Spiritual Center. And so I believe that's it. Yes.
All right. All right, let's take some deep breaths together and take all that in, the beautiful music, the prayer, the words. Thanks so much, everyone. Let's just give thanks. This is another way we keep our energy high, right? We give thanks. We practice gratitude. And we pay attention to the miracles. So I'm so grateful for the miracle of life itself, for the miracle that brought us all together, for this divine time, for this experience. So grateful for this grand idea from the mind of God called Hilltop Center for Spiritual Living. Grateful for the beauty of love in our hearts, joy in our souls. Grateful that we are uplifted and inspired now through it all. And as we leave this Langar hall of this beloved community with the taste of the sweetness within us, we take that out into the world. We serve, we love. Thank you, Spirit, for it all and for each and every one. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
I've been getting acquainted with the kind of pain that'll bend your mind and cause it to afraid it'll bend your knees, force you to pray. Who says people don't change? My doctor tells me I got a brain. Don't make dopamine, won't think straight. The round one takes the edge away. The red one keeps the blues at bay. Somewhere between Amarillo and Little Rock. You said you wanna tell me why you failed to abide by the traffic stop. And I didn't really know the speed I was going, just that it wasn't fast enough. Always running behind, I never can catch up. We're breaking down between Amarillo and Little Rock. Why so far from home, he asked, but I wasn't there long enough to call it that. The South has lower property tax. I find myself circling back. Do they pad prescription opioid dosage so he can meet his ticket quota? When he asks me if I'm sober, I really don't know, sir. I'm just somewhere between Amarillo and Little Rock. They got hay for sale by the roller bale, and they grow cash crop. Is there anywhere in Middle America people aren't working their asses off? Always running behind, they never can catch up. We're breaking down between Amarillo and Little Rock. I'd sooner burn through my reserves and let the wheels fall off before it occurred to me that I could stop. Somewhere between Amarillo and Little Rock. Well, it's a good a place as any to just get out and take a walk. Ain't it funny when clarity's hidden in a contradiction or a paradox? Can't begin to get your bearings till you're good and lost and breaking down between Amarillo and Little Rock.
Caitlin Cannon, everybody, so brilliant. Amazing. Oh, yeah, all right. So good. Those songs, you know.